Highlighting the fury in this country over Brett Kavanaugh, watch as a demonstrator sprays water at his convoy in disgust after Kavanaugh was sworn into the Supreme Court yesterday.
I'm happy as a clam.
Today, Republicans, from Senator Lindsey Graham to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, offered a different view. While critics say the sexual assault allegations against Kavanaugh leave the court in a deeply politicized shadow, Republicans underline the right guy got the job.
I'm happy that those who tried to destroy his life fell short.
We stood up to the mob. We established that the presumption of innocence is still important.
Meanwhile, Democrats emphasize none of this will be set aside.
He's going to be on the Supreme Court with a huge taint and a big asterisk after his name.
The next battlefield is the looming midterm elections. Days after mocking Kavanaugh's accuser, last night Donald Trump blamed Democrats for obstructing Kavanaugh's confirmation and urged his supporters to be sure to get out and vote against them.
You don't hand matches to an arsonist, and you don't give power to an angry left-wing mob, and that's what they've become.
The bitterness of the Kavanaugh debate has left many in this country frustrated and disillusioned with lawmakers.
November is coming!
Among those voicing that now, the Republican governor of Ohio.
The pox on both houses for the way this was conducted, and people in the country are appalled. That's because it's like, I got to win and you got to lose.
And it's amid all that Brett Kavanaugh now takes his seat at the Supreme Court. He's expected to be in place by Tuesday, in a country still deeply divided over whether he should even be there at all. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
Within moments, it seemed, of the Senate confirmation vote to affirm Brett Kavanaugh as the next Supreme Court justice, he was sworn in. So why so fast? And what sort of cases await him on the bench? For that, we're joined by Alicia Bannon of the Brennan Center for Justice in New York, which advocates in part for voting rights. I know, Alicia, that you once clerked for Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who went on to be an Obama-era appointee to the Supreme Court. He now joins her on that bench right away on Tuesday. What is your gut about the most controversial cases he'll likely see in his first session?
Well, the U.S. Supreme Court is just starting its new term. It runs from October to June. Right now, we don't have too many blockbusters on the calendar. You know, in his first day on Tuesday, he's going to be hearing 2 cases interpreting a particular criminal statute. There are some cases, though, that are coming down the pipeline that look likely to land on the court's docket this term. One has to do with partisan gerrymandering, whether courts can step in and make states redraw their maps when they draw extreme partisan maps in district lines for congressional seats or state legislative seats. Another case that may be coming down the pipeline has to do with whether or not our anti-discrimination laws protect people on the basis of sexual orientation. So if a person is fired from their job because they're gay, whether or not they are protected.
Is there any indication of how he would likely rule on that particular one?
So one thing that's important to note is that his predecessor, Justice Kennedy, was a real swing vote on the U.S. Supreme Court. So we have a court that's consistently been ruling in a lot of high salience cases on a 5-4 basis. So sometimes ruling with the left side of the court, sometimes ruling with the right. And very often Justice Kennedy was that swing vote. So Justice Kavanaugh is going to be entering into a court that has been, very frequently divided on a 5-4 basis. On the particular cases, partisan gerrymandering or LGBT rights, his record is pretty thin. He didn't hear any cases on those issues as a lower court judge, so we don't know a lot about his thinking on those particular issues. But looking at other cases that he's heard as a lower court judge, as well as writing and speeches that he's given, we have a strong indication that he is, on many issues at least, a very conservative judge, far to the right of Justice Kennedy. So I think we are teed up to see a court move quite sharply rightward with Justice Kavanaugh.
Okay, Alicia Bannon, thanks very much.
Thank you.